What is a 3D printer? So, my definition of a 3D printer, it has three components. Not three little literal components, but three components that are similar to components that are used inside of a 3D printer, if that makes any sense. And those three objects are all everyday objects that we use every day. So if you go over here, item number one is a pen. So a pen, just like a regular pen, it writes, and that's what's used to actually draw your image, like the tip of the pen, and it has ink. And then the second component is a robotic arm, which uses to navigate your quote-unquote pen. And then the third component is a hot glue gun, which is used to heat up the filament and then spit it out from the other side. So you melt the plastic just like a hot glue gun, and then you have your dedicated shape. And then boom, you have yourself a 3D printer. So when I said pen, what I meant by pen is this tip, which basically writes, and the pen ink is the filament. The filament is basically the rods of plastic that are used to be melted down and then output prints. So here we have the orange filament that outputs green. I honestly don't know how that works, but that's how I made it when I was making it in my speed create video. So then the robotic arm is basically this part, which is used to navigate the actual quote unquote pen around. And then the hot glue gun is this box right here, which is used to heat up the filament so it's melted so then it can come out of the other side easily. So then how a 3D printer actually prints is basically like this. So if you go ahead and grab a pen, prints like kind of like this. So it just puts layers on top of layers until it kind of fills it in part by part. So then if we take our example of this robotic arm here, it has something called overhang. So then for example, this is our box and then we fill it in. Let's just, okay. I'm really bad at drawing. Oop, no. Yep. Okay, so if we go like this and then we have our box and then it's filled in. Okay, let's just pretend that's filled in. And then this line comes up, that's still fine because it could just go like this and then put like that. But then this is where it gets kind of tricky because then it has something called overhang. So then this when it's overhanging, it has to have something to put the filament on. Because if it doesn't have a platform for the filament to lay on, it's just gonna fall over like this and then bend over. So then that's actually when something called overhang comes into play. It's usually a different material that the printer puts over here. So then the printer has something to like bite onto, like the filament has something to bite onto. And then when it's over here, you can just lay down the filament and it won't go like this. And it'll be just a straight line, like in the example. And then if you guys are wondering how it'll actually, like how you'll get rid of um, the overhang material, like the red material, you'll actually like drop it into, up, you will drop it into a tub type thing. So then you'll drop it into like some sort of acid bath. And then since the actual red filament is a different color, different material, it'll just melt away in the boiling acid bath. So then if you drop your 3D printed object, for example, this is our 3D printed robotic arm, it'll just melt away. The red material will just melt away, and the only thing will be left is our 3D printed object that will come out looking kind of like this. If I can actually navigate this thing around. Come out looking like this. So yeah, that's basically how a 3D printer works. Hope you guys enjoyed this, and tell me if I should do more explanation videos in the future. and subscribe for more awesome Rhino tutorials and explanations.